Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Well, that's weird tonight. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. We're not doing Facebook tonight for some reason. I don't know why I can't connect. 1 second. Try to patch this thing up. See if it works tonight. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, I think we may be good to go now. We had a hard time coming online at 8:30. There was a technical malfunction. Facebook wasn't allowing me through, but Facebook, I'm grateful that you did. Come in wherever you are, everybody. You know what time it is. You know exactly what time it is. Time for the good report. It's Tuesday, March 24th, day 11 for me of sheltering in place. I decided that I wanted to gather here every night at 8:30 to hold space for love and gratitude. We take our sips together. We remember those who are less fortunate than us. Someone didn't wake up this morning because of what's going on and things that aren't going on. And so here we are, together to be grateful. Looks like we've got our first viewer. Thank you for watching. Second viewer, third viewer, thank you for watching. We hold space every night at 8:30 right here just to be grateful and just to hold space for love. I'm a reader of Huffington Post. I watch the news. I catch all of the briefings. I'm over-newsed. And none of those, I look for it tomorrow. Look for it. Just go on Huffington Post, MSNBC, any of the press conferences, and tell me if you see somebody on there offering gratitude. Not saying that we should be grateful for this crisis that we're going through. I'm just saying, like, holding space both for the crisis and what's working out, what's good, and what's flowing. Where are you watching from? I see we got people on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and lovecityarts.org, which of course is the organization that I serve, that's been entrusted to me to help encourage creatives and everyone on earth that's willing to receive it. Even if it's one person. If one person wants the love, here it is, freely given. I'm also doing that, though, in my immediate vicinity as much as I can. Yeah, let me know who you are. Let me know where you're watching from. In about 10 minutes, we're going to have a guest come on. I'm going to dial... I don't know this person's pronouns. We'll have to ask. I'll also wait until they come on to pull today's Book of Awakening card. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and tell me what your good report was. What happened good for you today? In the face of ridiculous circumstances, and in the face of a space where we can't really control what's happening moment by moment. Some pretty wild things happened today, if you think about it. Someone listened to the occupant in the White House and took chemicals that were the same as what he said, but different. I think it was like fish tank cleaner. Like someone was not feeling that well in their mental space, and then were in the right set of circumstances to be watching the occupant talk about a certain chemical. I forget the name of the chemical. Where's my technology? And they took this chemical, and the husband didn't make it, and the wife is in ICU. We gotta calm it. We've got to calm it. We've got to listen to the CDC. We've got to listen to the World Health Organization. We got to stay mindful. We got to stay up on our meditation. If you've not done yoga in your life, now may be a good time to like ohm it out. I don't know what your personal prescription will be, but I do know that we are in deep need of healing, both in our physical bodies, in our mental bodies, and in our spiritual bodies. And so whatever you got to do, whatever you got to Google or YouTube, because I don't want to be preaching that sermon. Y'all not going to be out here saying that I'm trying to tell people how to live their damn lives, because guess what? I got a full plate over here. I don't really know all the time whether I'm coming or going. How can I even pretend to tell you what to do? I can tell you what's working for me. This woman on YouTube called Yoga with Adriene. Look her up. Write her down. Put her in your notes of your phone. Oh, good vibe. Good vibe. Good vibe. Good vibe. Yoga with Adriene. She teaches you how to do yoga from like... Oh, man, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I can bring these levels down over here. There we go. Give me some wiggle room. Yeah. Good, good, good jams tonight. This music is brought to you by Chill Hop Radio. Look them up on YouTube. That's all I'm streaming from. Chill Hop Radio. We got a guest coming up at 8:45. I said I would dial this person in at 8:45 to hear about their journey. I'm so glad that you joined us for a little bit of lighthearted fun. We do talk about some heavy things together, and we do go off the deep end sometimes. I rarely come in here sober, and that's okay too. And yeah, we just gather to hold space, just a little bit of space. Sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, sometimes there's 4 people, sometimes there's 40. We're just holding space every night at 8:30 for what's good in our lives, what we're grateful for, sharing the things that are really upsetting us. We've had some people come in here and like lay some heavy stuff on us. But then after we hold space and send light and comfort and strength to each other for what we're all collectively going through as one human race, while we'll do that, we'll also raise the energy and the vibration of what's happening in our community. Like right now where you are, because we're so connected as human beings, right now where you are, your vibration is being raised as mine is. They say that if you put 2 bells, hey Daniel's gonna be coming on in about 6 minutes, Daniel. They say that if you put 2 bells in the room and they're both tuned to the same, like they're shaped the same way, if you hit one of them, the other one will ring. That's all we're doing here. I'm just hitting a bell of love, a bell of positivity, a bell of light, not ignoring what's happening, but just sounding the alarm. There's still hope, there's still love, and we still have the courage that we need to stand up to people who may not look out for us, no matter how high their level. We will hold them accountable through our love. This is not a paid advertisement or anything like that, but for those of you who don't know about ResistBot, it's an amazing resource. Look that up as well. I'll drop the link later. But all you have to do is go into like one of like the Notes app on your phone. And I need to grab my phone actually. Just go into the Notes app on your phone and like write how you're feeling and what you're going through to your local representative. And then copy and paste, and then you just text them and copy and paste that note in, and then they will fax, email, and deliver your letter to they will deliver your letter to your representative and your governor and as many people as you want them to, and also allow you to put a public note up. All these things matter. Like our representatives need to be hearing that like we cannot continue to go down this path. We cannot continue to not share like and care for each other. Like there's got to be a better way, and we insist that we love more deeply. We insist that we care more deeply. We insist that I am my brother's keeper. I'm not sure if you guys, and I'm not trying to take down the energy in the space, but I'm not sure if you all saw that, like, they're now finding, this was the Associated Press. I'm going to apologize later in the show for, I'm going to apologize later for the fake news that I shared on the internet yesterday, but for real, the Associated Press had published this, that they're going into these nursing homes and they're finding people that have either perished from the illness or people that are on their last breaths because no one's going to check on the elderly because we're afraid of them because they're vulnerable, but also we've not done enough to like prevent this from happening. Anyway, 3 minutes away from our lovely guest that's coming on today. Who are the guests on The Good Report? The guests are human beings just like you and me. The guests are they're trending towards being friends of mine, people that I've shared space with for a few moments or for what feels like lifetimes. That's who the guests are. So if you're interested in coming on and chatting it up and hamming it up with me one night, I can't promise that I'm always on the earth, but I am a good time and a cheap date because I'm providing my own booze. Cheers. If you want to come on, just text me or DM me. Text number is 404-585-1278. 404-585-1278. 404-585-1278. That's how our upcoming guest connected with me. And now I'm connecting this person with all of you. Like I said, I don't know their pronouns, so I'm going to let them explain. But we're just going to vibe it up. I'm going to dial them in now, if that's okay. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're feeling the love. Let me know that you are picking up what I'm putting down. This is not for my ego's sake. Fuck all that noise in the age of coronavirus. Y'all want me to focus on my ego? This ain't about that. Literally, I just decided that I wanted to come in here. It's probably helping me too, to know that I have this to look forward to every night. That consistently, we've been doing this for 11 nights. I think I set the number correctly. Yeah. We've been doing this for 11 nights. So I guess by the 14th day, which they say that's about how long it takes to perhaps make a pattern, maybe it's 21 days. By the time this is all over though, the way this is looking, this is going to be like a habit thing where I just like look forward to seeing all of you in shared space of love and community and yummy, lighthearted energy that I'm getting from you just as much as you're probably getting it from me. At least I hope you are. Let's dial our guest. Okay. So, hopefully this, we've had about a 50%, we've had about a 50% success rate of getting our guests either on my phone here or over the air. Let's see if the universe wants us to be semi-professional tonight. I gotta find the number though. Oh, you know what? I think... All right, coming right up. A lovely soul, just like you and like me. I'll let them introduce themselves. Let's see if this works. Oh, yes. We have liftoff tonight. Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You sound a little far away.
Yeah, I'm closer now.
Oh, hey. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking tonight?
Daniel Williams.
Daniel Williams. What are your pronouns, Daniel Williams?
He and his.
He and him?
Yep.
Okay, cool. You're a little far away from your. I wanted.
Yeah, I spilled something. I wanted to clean it up real quick. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm
Hey,
here.
Pam. Hi. You know what? I love the Good Report because on the Good Report you can spill. Hey, Pam. Good to see you. On the Good Report you can spill a whole drink, go and clean it up, and come back, and we're still here.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
What's been going on in your world? How's life?
Life is pretty good. Recently I was very excited, and I'm still kind of excited about a new job that came my way recently. So I've been interning for quite a bit of time at Thrive Brightpoint BX in the South Bronx.
What
Um,
is Thrive? You just do a lot of names. Thank you everybody who's watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else. You threw a lot of names. Where were you working?
so I was interning at Thrive Brightpoint Health BX.
Oh, it's a
It is
health. It's a health.
it's a drop-in center in the Bronx for LGBT, queer, or other gender variant young adults who are dealing with homelessness, they're underserved,
Hmm.
some kind of poverty, etc.
Wow. And so when you say drop in, you're saying that they can just come and get shelter and food and be provided for like whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, well, the hours that were open, of course, and then also they can hang out, and chill, watch TV, do groups, do some interventions, and then also get connected with some services that they may need via the employees that work there, whether it be insurance connection if they don't have insurance, or their insurance is like complicated,
Yeah.
or they need help on their getting their meds
Hmm.
for whether it be HIV meds, whether it be psych meds, whatever kind of meds. And then also, what was the last thing I had to do there? They assist you with even getting your paperwork together. So like your birth certificate, passport, if you're trans, IDs, gender markers, all that kind of stuff.
Wow. 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 So I mean, this is work that's really, really helping people. Like, I mean, directly affecting people. Are they still open during all of this?
So we were the first week of like all of this, we were open, but we were open only to let clients come get food and then they will have to go. But we had to have them wash their hands,
Right.
you know, all that other stuff. Yeah.
Where are the population that you served, or like the community that you served? Where are they going now that we're all sheltering in place here?
I don't know exactly, but there are a couple of resources that are out there that are like doing the same thing, but they're still open.
Okay, that's
And
good.
the people are like, people will come, get food, and go.
Okay,
Because
grab and go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is all provided by the city, or is it like grants and things like that that's funding it?
both.
Okay, good, 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 good. I'm happy to know that gender nonconforming and non-binary and trans people in the city still have somewhere to go. I've not checked in with. Are you familiar with the Okra Project?
I did hear about that recently. A friend of mine, I think Nalo, has something to do with that.
Okay, yeah, yeah, cool, 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 cool. I know Ian Stewart, a wonderful trans woman, actress in the city, and highly involved, if not one of the creators of the Okra Project. But they do a lot of food justice work as it relates to trans people and other vulnerable communities.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that now would probably be the time, and since I have this platform, now would be the time to just encourage everyone that if you have someone in your network that is trans, queer, and pushed to the margins of society on a normal day, it may be a good
Right.
idea to reach out to them and DM them and and see if they're okay.
Right. Do the wellness check that they say.
Right, 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 right. Because right now, a lot of those individuals don't even have access to funds.
But I think we are a resourceful community, And so where we either have like these pseudo families or these given families, like I think I said yesterday, I'm grateful for my given family and my chosen family because all the times we look out for each other. We know how to like
Yeah.
take care of each other.
Right. Oh, that's so
Sometimes.
good. Yeah, sometimes. I think what I've seen in queer community so far is a coming together. I don't know if I don't know what the viewers right now have seen or heard, but I think for the most part, I get the feeling that the queer community, and I can't speak for everybody, but I get the feeling that they are deeply shaken to the core by this, but not so unsettled and dislodged from their community. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like this really fucking sucks, but I got your back. I know there's about probably I'd say 8 to 10 people who are on my like short list. While holding love for everybody, there are about 8 to 10 people on my list, and I'm kind of touching ever so briefly or totally. I'm communicating with them every day,
yeah.
and just
I
being
mean, I think we are very creative. Like so I earlier I said we're resourceful, but we're also very creative
yeah.
in times like. So I see like people like today. I'll be honest. Today was a rough day for me.
Oh,
I
let's talk
stayed
about
in.
it. Are you what happened?
Well, nothing happened exactly. I mean, I'm a warrior of depression, and so I battle depression on a routine basis until today was not one of my days. I kind of like stayed in bed most of the day. I mean, I wasn't like completely uh, far away from my tools that I know that I take care of myself with,
Right.
but most of my day today was just like in bed.
Oh man. Well,
So,
I am here for you.
thank you. I was telling myself, well, damn, I had a good day yesterday, and I was told I told Andre I was going to be on the on the show, and then
Yeah.
I can't go all with a bad day today,
It's
So
so
whatever.
yeah, I mean it this thing is just it's what I'm finding, Daniel, is that it's happening in waves. Like there are moments when I feel my feet firmly planted on the ground, and then in an instant it's like being in 30, 40 feet of water. And
Right, right.
so I just have to I think part of what's helping me is just knowing that that's the way it's going to be for a minute or two.
Yeah.
You know, just if you don't have to even have attachment to it. You don't even have to feel good or bad about it. Um, your only responsibility is to just, as the best you can, and even if they're tiny, what we used to call baby steps, just take left, right, left, right. Like that. That's your only requirement. And I want to,
Right.
if I may speak to you clearly, I just want to remind you and speak to you that and tell you that you're stronger than you think,
Yeah.
and that just breathing and being here is an act of courage. Just sometimes, those days where, speaking truth, those days when you just struggle to put your feet on the floor,
Mhm.
and you're like, I just I gotta get out of this bed. I gotta get out of this bed. And then some days you don't. But just trusting the flow,
Mhm.
trusting that, oh wow, okay, so I'm having one of those depressed days that I knew was gonna happen at some point in my life. I'm having that now. I'm just having that now. And as easily, or I won't say easily, but maybe as smoothly as it came to you, would you be open to it also going that way as well?
What do you mean?
Would you be like if if the depression and the sadness that you had today was a wind coming through the window, and then it hung out for a little bit, which it seems it did. You said just yesterday you were fine.
Yeah, I mean,
So where I'm going with this is like, okay, you were fine yesterday. Your room was completely completely clear, and then today a dark cloud blew in, but you knew that was going to happen because that happens from time to time. So it hung out. It was there. And then whenever you're ready, and whenever you feel it okay, soon, I don't know what that timing is, but soon it will begin to just clear out.
It did. It was so funny, like when it does, how it does, or what is the thing that creates a shift.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the floor, and I was just sitting in here, and I was just in here, and I was just like, oh my, this is like a lot. I'm just in a heavy mood. And then so I was watching. This is something I'm grateful for. You can tie this in. Yeah. So I'm watching Ballroom Vloggers. A friend of mine has this like blog about ballroom, and I'm just watching clips, and I'm just having a little quick marathon of just watching clips for like about 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I decided to listen to Kevin. He's a commentator. Kevin JZ.
Okay.
From Jersey, I think. From Jersey or Philly. And so I'm just listening to him, and then like I'm listening to the Ha. I don't know if you know what that is.
What is it called?
The Ha.
The Ha. The HA.
Yeah.
Is it a podcast?
No. It's a vlogging beat. It's like it's music.
Oh. Spell that out for me. I'm gonna turn this music down so I can hear you clearly. It's called the Ha.
Yep, exactly. HA.
I'm gonna put that in right now. I need to, because this is gonna be on my Today I Learned.
Yes. So I wound up like listening to the music, and I was just like, I just had to get up, and I wound up getting up and just like doing some dance and some vlogging for a little bit. And
the Ha dance. It's a dance. It's like a song.
Yeah. It's a beat. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of it for the people that are like me and who are really, really ignorant. I didn't. Oh my. Oh. Okay, so this will that would shift your energy.
Yes.
I see. That would totally shift your energy. So you put that on.
Yeah, it just came on. I was listening to it, and I was just like, I got up and I did some dance moves. Like, I always listen to people who say things like, "Get up and dance in your house like there's nobody watching."
Yes,
so,
yes.
Being a black gay man, a lot of times I suppress a lot of like feminine energy.
Our expression,
right? I mean, I saw you yesterday with your nails painted up. I was like, "Work."
Yes. I mean, I started doing that a couple months ago. Well, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, because I'm like, before coronavirus, like, this world is going to fucking hell in a handbasket. Why am I living for other people and trying, why am I not painting my nails if I want them painted? Like, the world is effed up enough. Why not live,
Right.
That's right.
And something I learned from the young people I work at, on Wednesday nights we had, before coronavirus and all that drama.
Right.
Well, Wednesday nights we have Vogue nights, where the House of Ballroom scene, the subculture called the Kiki scene, will come and vogue and dance and let it out. And seriously, when they come, there would be like, I need to let it out. I need to dance. I've been stressed. I've had a lot of like drama. boyfriend drama, mother drama, family drama, whatever they're dealing with. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, my thing was like it's going out of battery. I just like plugged up. Damn, I didn't realize that. See, this is what you gotta learn.
I don't know what happened, but I love it. Did your Bluetooth die? For those of you tuning in right now, this is the Good Report, where we just meet up every night at 8:30 to hold space for light and love and the good that we want to see to come in the world. I decided that I would be here every night at 8:30, just raising the energy in my little corner of the world. Take what you need. Take what you need. Are you back, Daniel?
Hello?
Hello?
You there?
I'm here.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Like, I was just explaining to everyone the reason why we're here, and I figured that you would come back once everything mellowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the young people come in and they dance and they vogue, really to relieve and release a lot of stress. And, I really honor that a lot, because I fight for that space to make sure that they have that, because a lot of times we don't have that space. People this is the real issue people are having with being at home, right? They want to go because they don't have the space at home to be their authentic selves. And so this whole thing about being at home and being quarantined is like, well, shit, I gotta find somewhere I can be safe. And safety is on a wide spectrum of what safety is for a lot of us in our community. So when I see them come on Wednesdays and come vogue, I'm like, people need that space. I oftentimes I make a joke, and it's not a joke, but it's real life. Voguing saves lives. They need to get out there.
Right, and I just want to anchor this by saying that people think that Pose, which happened in the past, was the end of voguing and the end of spaces where people vogue for freedom and community and belonging. That still exists to this day.
Yeah, on so many levels. It's actually bigger than itself right now. It's mutated.
What do you mean when you say it's mutated?
There's so ballroom was what mainstream is what ballroom was itself, right? And then there's 3 or 4 communities inside the ballroom, subcultures grown outside of the house and ballroom scene. So there's the regular mainstream scene, then there's the women's scene that kind of started for a little quick second, and the women's were cis women and trans men's balls. If I'm not mistaken, I might have
happening here as well.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
I might have asked his community exactly. So if someone listening wants to correct me, I'm sorry. But that scene existed, and then now it's the Kiki scene that exists from out the mainstream scene too. There's something for the young adults who are 18 to 24, or 13 to 29, who the ballroom but don't feel exactly safe to be about a ballroom, and ballroom was the mainstream scene was too serious.
What do you mean when you say it was too serious? Like they were really competing and going for each other's throats, like what we see?
It wasn't for fun, people weren't having fun.
They were taking. Oh yeah, that happens though. Whenever you take anything in life too seriously, you rob it of its joy.
Yeah. So the title of the scene called the Kiki scene. Kiki is
Kiki scene.
Light, fun, a joke, something almost childlike.
Chat-like, or are you saying chat-like or
childlike?
Childlike.
Yeah, something for kids.
I see, but this is for grown people though.
Yeah, kids are quotes. Yes.
I see. Oh my gosh, so it's kind of like a way of keeping yourself eternally young in your spirit, and just remembering to always have fun and share joy.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to figure out why this isn't more mainstream, why the straight people are not doing it, or why,
They are.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, there's like plenty of like, so there's a category in the Kiki scene and also in mainstream ballroom scene called women's performance, and then it's like women's runway, and then there's women's face. I know there's different women's categories, and that's for cis women who, want to be a part of ballroom, and some of them are straight, some are lesbian, some are like pansexual.
I'm seeing an article right now in the Atlantic, not saying that what you weren't saying was true the whole time. It's just it says, in the Kiki ballroom scene, queer kids of color can be themselves, finding love, confidence, and resilience in a youth-led community. I didn't even know about this until you just said this, and I'm gay as Christmas.
Gay as Christmas.
This is amazing. Members of the House of Bangy Cunt pose for a group photo in East New York. Kiki houses, each led by a mother. I think I knew that type of stuff, but it's at the House of Bangy Cunt is one of about a dozen active Kiki houses in New York City today.
Yeah, and I'm not a part of that scene exactly. I'm an uncle to many people in that scene. I have a bunch of nieces
This is
who are
beautiful.
In that scene, yeah. I love them. It's amazing.
This is really beautiful, and I love all of these beautiful brown people.
Yeah.
Has the queer community and has the scene welcomed you, or does it? I'll put it this way: is it welcoming of everyone? Like, could I show up to one of these Kiki scene things and feel comfortable, or would I be out of place?
I mean, you could definitely show up. Well, let me answer your first question. Yes, they've welcomed me. I'm a part of a house in the mainstream ballroom scene. I'm honored. So I don't want.
Wait. Now I'm talking to royalty then.
The kids call me Uncle / Legend /
Listen. I'm like Majesty, worship His Majesty. Like I'm literally. What can you talk about this, or is it like the Crips and the Bloods, and you can't really say what house you're in?
No, I can say what house I'm in. I'm in the House of Ebony.
You're in the House of Ebony. Tell me what are the distinct characteristics of the House of Ebony?
Oh boy! So the House of Ebony is considered, I guess, from like a outside view looking in, what they call a realness house.
Okay, I'm on board so far.
And you know what realness is, right?
Realness. I mean, okay, so maybe I don't, because the way you just asked me that question makes me question my whole existence. I realness. When I hear realness, I think of like authenticity, or like, being you're like, I'm stepping in this. What do you mean when you say realness?
So realness, and mind you, realness I feel like realness. I'm gonna tell you the definition, but realness also is a different meaning for different people. And
you knew that I didn't know what realness meant when you asked me the damn question. It's because we already 30 minutes into the explanation, and I'm loving it.
Oh, no.
What
I
is
don't want to show.
Go on.
Realness is it's something different for each person in different categories in the scene. So as a black gay man, if I walk a category called Butch Queen Realness, that means I'm a male figure in what is deemed a male body, right? Something that's like stereotypical masculine body, right?
Yeah.
And I walk this story, that means I look like what the community and the culture deems as straight or heterosexual.
I did pick this up from Pose. It's like you can pass, basically. You can.
It's stereotypes. So I look like this. A lot of times, the scene, it was like a lot of people who were like putting, like, it was almost like drag. So people would put on this look or persona, and either it was them, or it was just a part of them.
So I think what would help us is if you gave us some examples of categories. What would the realness categories look like?
So Butch Queen Realness, it would be they have the categories, and they're broken down in like different subcategories, which is like thug realness. So bring in like 50 Cent, or bring in like
yes,
like Tupac or whoever. those people who are like hood.
Yeah, give me another one. Like what would be another category of realness?
Like the femme queen women is like, bring it, and you're a trans person. What they deem to call the label femme queen.
Yeah, okay.
Assigned at birth male, but you live your life as a woman. You either had some hormones or whatever you've done to yourself. You live your life as a woman, and
Right.
so a trans woman, and so they call them femme queens, of course, and they're femme queen runners, and it's all about passing, like what you say.
Wow.
Mama can't. There's a commentation that says, "Mama can't tell, Papa can't tell." Nobody can tell that you have a truth that is opposite of what.
Yeah, than what you present.
Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, I'm sure that the people who win these awards or get the most points from what I've seen on TV, I'm sure that they are some of the most beautiful people that you've ever laid eyes on.
Absolutely, but understand 100%. Like people who are walking these categories to just be other people or to put on this quote unquote what some would deem a drag. Its reality is people would walk these categories and particularly around the idea of realness because this is what their everyday life. They had to survive in terms of making sure that people don't basically bash them.
Right.
So their realness was their badge. Their realness was their armor. Their realness was survival.
Wow.
So they turned that into a category, and they made it fun, and so people get a chance to walk and be real, be masculine, or be femme if they're a girl, and show off how they look like every day. There's a joke, everyday or everyday fish.
Wow. How many people do you think are participating in all of this stuff?
A lot of people, which is crazy. That's why people are in the house I want to go to a ball because there's a lot of people there and it's fun. But meanwhile, we gotta.
Yeah, we have to take a bit of a Hold on one second. I got a bit of a itchy nose. 1 second. I don't know what that was. My nose just started itching all of a sudden. I don't know what that means in superstitious worlds. But that's what's rough about everyone being in the house right now. They want to be at a ball, and then they have to we have to temporarily sit down for the moment so that everyone can get healthy, and then we can return.
Right, there were balls planned that were canceled.
Right. That's been disappointing to people. Now, see, I'm a bit of a homebody, so my schedule stays very, very light. I take a lot of I work from home normally anyway, and then my whole Love City Arts business and operation runs in the cloud as well. So I'm often at the house unless I'm out doing a gig or singing somewhere or whatever. So this doesn't feel different to me. It's just what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of people who would rather be outdoors and around everyone and in full extroverted mode, and it's making them sad that that they're not able to play with their friends versus all of my friends have always been on the internet. And then that sounds that sounds awful, but we have a group chat that pops off 24/7 all day every day. Someone's in that group chat talking, and so because all of my friends are there and I invite them over to the house for supper club and I see them out and stuff like that too. Don't get me wrong, I'm not in the house all the time, but I don't have to necessarily leave to find that connection and community. For people whose communities were anchored in actual face-to-face interactions, see you next Tuesday at 7, this feels really, really wild.
Right. That's particularly the reason why I said people are having issues with quarantine, because for me, example, battling depression or battling whatever kind of mental illness, you can get out the house and get away.
Right, because where would you normally be if you were not sitting here talking to me on a Tuesday night at 9:16?
Just probably out do a late night at my job. You know, checking out boys.
Checking out boys, watching them walk down the street. Yeah, yeah, and that, I mean, that's true. That's just the truth of it. And so, yeah, over the last 11 days, that's when I started all of this. We've all kind of stepped into an alternate reality.
Right.
Like it's like the upside down. Like everything is just different in this space, particularly because if we're following what the CDC and the World Health Organization are saying, we are staying home, right?
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, for a while. And that's why I want to really breathe into your life, and I want to breathe into the lives of people who will watch this later. I need us to really put on radical acceptance. And I know this is a big ask. But I need you, Daniel, and I need everyone under the sound of my voice and the people that are going to watch this back later and listen to this back in podcast. Figure out what radical acceptance means to you and for you. Meaning that, like, we have to radically accept that while Trump is proposing that we be back in church and back to our stuff by Easter, the numbers aren't really saying that could really happen. So we have to radically accept that our worlds are going to be exactly as they are. And then, as we radically accept that this could be the next few weeks for us, we're going to have to just hug it. And I know it feels like hugging a porcupine or hugging a cactus, but we're going to have to just hug it and go, I love you being stuck in the house. Isn't being stuck in the house the best thing? I mean, even though I'm stuck in the house, I still get to talk to you, Daniel, tonight. Oh, isn't this wonderful? And I mean, it's not wonderful, but like, we're going to have to just radically be like, oh, Daniel, of course we're here every night at 8:30. That's what we would be doing normally. It's not fun. It's not funny, but it's the present moment, right, friend?
Right, absolutely. You know, oftentimes I go to a LGBT affirming church, and this is part of their ministry. Some of the lessons and some of the theology is around, like, you know, like embracing the ugly, embracing or holding close the thing that we want to get rid of so much. You know.
I do. I'm. Okay, first of all, I gotta know, what church is this and how do I get there?
So I go to one of the many, or the few, or the several, I forget how many out there now, but there are a few LGBT affirming churches out there in New York City. So the one I go to and the one I go to and worship at is called Rivers of Living Water.
Is that like the Rehoboth Rivers of...
The ex-Rehoboth, yes. So it's now Rivers of Living Water, New York, UCC. And the pastor that I'm under is Bishop-elect Pastor Vanessa M. Brown.
Vanessa M. Brown. Yes. Is that the church that Tanya Mariung went to, China?
Yes. And,
okay.
And I think you're also friends with Pastor Michelle, right?
Yes. Okay. Is it in the city? Because I feel like coming out of coronavirus, before coronavirus, I was going to church off and on, but, you know, some very problematic, patriarchal, toxic masculine things are happening in the pulpit, and I was like, I don't get up early in the morning, put on at least a decent, you know, pair of jeans, because I don't believe in suits no more in nobody's church, because you don't know the cost of the oil in my alabaster box. So you ain't gonna tell me how to dress in here. You better. Jesus said, "Come as you are," and so here I am.
Right.
I'm gonna brush my teeth so you don't have to smell my morning breath. I'm gonna put some deodorant on so that my body temple doesn't funk up the place. But if I got clothes on, consider yourself blessed. Anyway, I was going to that church and it was wonderful. The music was great, but then I was going with a dear friend, and The preacher just got a little too toxic in the pulpit, talking about his sex life and how
What?
only men could understand his future comment, because women don't know nothing about that. Like, but he basically he was a traveling preacher, and he had been there multiple weeks, so I had to endure this guy multiple weeks. And he's talking about having been, while being a traveling pastor, he hasn't been home in a long time, and so he can't wait to fly back home to his wife, because men will only know what I'm talking about now. I need time with my wife. Women don't know nothing about that. And I was like, and people were laughing at it, and kind of like this is a church full of people, and I was like, first of all, everybody doesn't love that way. There's multiple ways of loving among the genders, and even the non-gender binary people can still find love. So now you're talking in this women-men dynamic, which always makes me really uncomfortable, because it's like, I know that that's how we come into the earth, through that
Right.
through that quote-unquote traditional model, but then love has blossomed into so many things for so many people. How dare we box it? So when he was going, I was like, I'm just put off, and I haven't been back since. So to know that there is a because I'm that kind of bitch. I'm not turning into nobody's pillar of salt.
Right.
Will not. So and for those of you watching who don't know or listening, that's a biblical reference to Lot's wife. They were told to leave this evil city, and God told them, you can correct me, Daniel, at any point if my theology goes towards Medea and less towards the Bible. And
That's funny.
that's shade. And so literally lost my train of thought just now.
You don't want to turn to a pillar of salt.
Yeah,
around
to assault. And so so God told Lot's wife to leave this evil place and not look back. Just keep running, don't look back. And if you look back, you're going to turn into a pillar of salt. Told this lady this stuff in this biblical story. What does she do? She leaves. She looks back. She's still standing there as a pillar of salt.
All right.
So yeah, when I depart a place, sometimes I don't look back. Sometimes I do, but I'm not perfect. But I'm happy to know that there are places that exist right now in the world that are helping people find spiritual community.
Yeah, I mean, like, spiritual community, and also just like a safe space to like worship God in their truth, whatever that is.
Is the music good there?
Oh, that's one of the things that's like made us popular as our music, because the praise and worship team had developed a choir or like some kind of like ensemble, and they made albums and like
Where do you worship?
So it's the address is 263 West 86th Street. It's 86th Street and Broadway, and it's held inside of St. Paul and St. Andrew's Church. We have our service in the hall.
Okay. And the musicians are there, and the preacher's there, and it's just what a time.
Yeah. It's a great time. I'm really enjoying my church because they believe in radical inclusivity. And so, like we said, I think we were talking about this yesterday, everybody deserves a seat at the table. And so,
yes.
What does that mean, or who are the everybody? And then when you get a chance to look into the audience, and it's not everybody there, as in with the whole different types or different parts of minorities, but like you see a great deal of like different people who are minorities, who are in the community, who probably would be more or less ostracized in mainstream church and not be welcomed. And so to be able to see that in the audience and see, okay, they're welcome here and they have a seat at the table is like, okay, this is where I want to worship. I wouldn't like want to worship anywhere else as far as me being myself.
Is it multiracial, multi-ethnic, or is it just many different cultures?
All that.
Wow, I didn't know that it was such a multicultural. I think the videos that I saw, do y'all have like a multimedia ministry or whatever? Because the videos
Yeah,
I've seen,
we're on Facebook and also live and
okay,
Zoom and all that other stuff.
I'll check it out. I will definitely check it out because it sounds like a place where I would really belong.
Yeah, I mean, like all churches are very different, and you know, like you have to find a church like you're putting on a new coat. You have to find the one that fits you, and so you can definitely come and visit and enjoy our services and get a good word. You know, if our church is the one for you, but there are many LGBT friendly churches. We just happen to be one of them who are like doing the work out there too.
I love it. I love it. I love that you're big upping your organization, but then also like leaving room for this that also provide health to so many people. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. What is your week going to look like, Daniel?
My week is, what is it, Tuesday? My week is going to try my best. I guess tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm gonna try my best to like. I've been telling myself in my head, oh, cause I noticed my cousin who has a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old. I forgot how old he is. He's somewhere around that age, and he's being homeschooled right now. She sent me his schedule, and so I was just thinking to myself, see, that's something you should learn right there. Create a schedule for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hour by hour schedule.
Yes.
In this time of quarantine, and try to meet some of those target times in your schedule and do whatever you have on your schedule. And so I said, all right, fine. Maybe I'll write my schedule. I haven't done it yet.
I mean, that's a really good life hack, though. That's a really good life hack. I mean, if those of you who don't have routines or used to have routines, put yourself on a hour-by-hour schedule and try to keep to it the best you can, it could restore a bit of normalcy and equilibrium to your life.
Right, I think I still have this picture in my inbox. So it was like, I think it's like 3 breaks in the day, and then there was like, lunch, and then there's like math, and then there's like,
there was the walk around the neighborhood.
History. Like, you know, he has all this like different stuff in his schedule while he's being homeschooled because of like Corona and whatnot. So I mean, I should be able to do the same. I should be able to incorporate whatever it is in my own life that I need to do, like write in my journal, eat breakfast, go outside and like, you know, embrace the sun a little bit. You know, I have a patio in my building. You know,
That's
do wonderful. A little bit of stretching, work on some projects. You know, just put it on a schedule.
So Daniel, I mean, how are you going to commit to us and all of the viewers that you're going to like do your best to stick to your schedule?
If you can see me right now, this is like a live interview. You see me scratching my head and making funny faces.
Okay.
But
right.
yes.
I mean, keep us posted. There's, like I said, there's no pressure coming from this side of the tennis court. I'm just saying that, like, you know that this could be beneficial for you. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, lean in. You gonna help me pick a card tonight from the Book of Awakening?
Oh, how do I do that?
Okay, so I'm gonna start shuffling these cards. Let's see here.
I don't have you on the live. I can't see you, so
it's cool. We're gonna help each other through. I'm shuffling them now for everyone who's watching, and I'm going to now. You just tell me when to stop, Daniel.
Okay, I'm kind of watching you, but you're behind. Okay, you're shuffling, and then you're still shuffling now. Stop.
Okay, stop. Oh, man. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Tonight's card, Daniel, that we pulled is, and these are from the Book of Awakening. Mark Nepo is an amazing inspirational poet, and basically they lifted quotes out of his Book of Awakening and they turned them into inspiration cards. The card that Daniel told me to stop and I pulled is simply change. The card says, pain is often a sign that something has to change. This is the simplest card. Usually the cards, y'all know, I pull a card every night on here. Usually the card goes on and on for paragraphs. This one tonight, one word on the front, change. The card we pulled is change. And the back says, pain is often a sign that something has to change. I mean,
Wow.
what do you say about that card?
A few things come up for me. One, I think I was listening to the Zoom one of these Sundays. I think, and the pastor was preaching, and they were talking about power.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the definition of power? And the definition of power, to some extent, was the ability to create change, and some kind of like aspect or atmosphere or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, just a real understanding about how, a lot of us are powerful, and the way we change in our lives, like there's a lot of change that can happen in the future. So I often think about people who are dealing with addictions and struggling with recovery, and I get really excited about being able to like pass on that word or that message that you can create change. And when you have done it and you can do it, but like when you're able to do it around this recovery, like understand that you are powerful.
Yeah.
And what's so grateful about being able to do certain work like that, I'm very clear that yes, a lot of times the thing that comes up for you, that you oftentimes see for other people, is it really comes up mainly for you first.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, when I'm always seeing this in the aspect of sitting at, like, maybe if I'm sitting in front of somebody else and saying, oh, wow, you are powerful, you can create change, you are greatness. And then I'm saying to myself, well, damn, why can't I say this to myself sometimes? But oftentimes I think about Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
I always say his name wrong. And he always talks about reflections and mirrors.
Yes.
And a lot of times we're able to look at people and see greatness and see things that are like foresights for them, but also truth for us, because we are looking at each other, and we are the other. We are mirrors, so we are reflections of each other's greatness.
That's it.
And so we can create change. Yes, there's a lot of change that can happen.
I think that is the affirmation of the day. I am powerful enough to change.
Yeah.
I'm powerful enough to change. I am powerful enough to change.
Yeah, and I like to play with words. So like, change also means to shift, to recreate, to shake things up. Like what does change mean to you? Like, and so just like
Yeah, I mean, change for me is like a change. I think like what's coming up for me, and I love that it plays into the whole Love City Arts logo. It's the butterfly, it's
come on, Morphosis.
Change for me is like, the caterpillar becoming a butterfly.
Right.
And what I love about that process is that I'm reminded, that's the reason why the Love City Arts logo that people are seeing down in the corner is that butterfly. It's a fractured butterfly, by the way, because its wings are a little torn and battered, because that's fucking life. That's what sitting in the house for 11 days under coronavirus quarantine will do to you. It will batter the fuck out of you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but this butterfly, kind of with little effort, just went and it hung on the tree or wherever it was hanging. It went into its cocoon, and then little by little just began to push and emerge and become a butterfly.
Right.
Complete transformation, complete change. I'm sure there's some butterflies that may struggle to get out of their cocoons, and there may be others that, there may be varying degrees, but the beautiful thing about change is that no matter how you get there, no matter your process, you're no longer the same. And I want to hold space for that possibility for people.
Well, I know it's funny to think about this, but do you think the butterfly, or let's say for the caterpillar in this stage, I think the caterpillar doesn't want to doesn't want to be in a cocoon, doesn't want to deal with the whole process, there's struggles with the process.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. There's probably science behind this. The spiritual part of me and my higher vibration self wants to believe that caterpillar has a inner knowing that it was meant to be. Oh shit! Shaka! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't. Wait! You almost set me off because you know how I do it here.
But all I did was say was yes.
I felt it. I felt it in my soul.
Right.
Something about that, yes. But something in me tells me that, and I'll look for the science that supports this. Something tells me that caterpillar has an inner knowing that I'm not always going to be down here. That somehow my intuition and there's an urge in me that tells me that I'm meant to fly. I just want to feel that.
Absolutely. If your mom is a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly, and your siblings are butterflies, and you see these things, that's your reference right there. That's your inner knowing. Okay, this is okay. I have to go through my process.
If my mother is a butterfly, if my brother are a butterfly, and I'm gonna put this in the lens of the chosen family. If my friends are happy, and if my family's happy, and if my colleagues around me that I've attracted to me are happy, that must mean that I'm going to be happy. That is because I'm witnessing these reflections, going back to the thought before, these reflections of who I'm meant to be.
But see, the thing about it is, the butterfly, in terms of the whole family aspect, there's difference and they're unique. Remember how caterpillars are all different and also butterflies are all different. They have different colors, different makeups, and different patterns or whatever, but they don't see a separation between themselves. I can see myself in you and you can see yourself in me. And so therefore, when I look at you and I see that you're happy, I know that happiness can be mine as well, because I know we are wherever shows up. There's something that's common about us.
Right. And that's each and every one of us.
Right.
Each and every one of us. That's been the crazy thing for me to understand, is that we all use our gifts. I think that probably on day 2 or 3 we were talking about the parable of the talents and how you take your talent and one person put it in the ground and one person kept it in. You know the parable of the talents.
Yes,
for those of you who haven't heard it, just go back and find the video. I don't know. But I love that we all have gifts and we're either using them for good or for evil.
Right.
But we all have them. And I my heart always breaks to the person that feels like they don't have a gift within them. My heart breaks to the person that feels like, oh, that's awesome that you can do that. I could never do that. Well, what is your gift? What is the thing that makes you come alive, and how can you give that to the world? I think one of the best things, Daniel, that's been coming out of this situation, lemonade out of lemons, is that more people are going live and expressing the thing that they love to do.
Yeah.
Now, we could roll our eyes at it and be like, oh, every church has a live, everybody has a live, everybody's on live, everybody's live streaming this and that. We could roll our eyes at it and be like, this bitch is live streaming too. We could do that. Or we could really see that, people are waking up to their gifts. I hope all of us who have live streamed during this period, I really do, because lots of us are. I hope that everybody who live streams right now because they're stuck in the house, I hope they go back and watch those videos and not only look at the ridiculous things we were seeing on the internet in quarantine, but that we will also see that there was some truth there. I've told people they're gonna be the haters are gonna be mad at me, Daniel, because the good report will be continuing after we can leave the house.
Exactly. And it's so beautiful because I felt like there's so much other stuff going on lives on Facebook, and like I feel like your the space you're taking up is definitely needed.
Well, thank you, brother. I mean, thank you. And what one thing I love about it is that I actually enjoy. I'm deeply moved, um, and deeply happy to be having this conversation with you right now.
Good, good. I'm happy about it as well.
And
I am.
I think that coronavirus, people don't like it when I'm on here. I got some comments about it. Like, they don't like when I say thank you coronavirus. So I'm not going to say thank you coronavirus tonight. All I'm going to say is one of the beautiful things that has come for those of us who are paying attention. And the same way that you said earlier that you really looking forward to getting back to your internship and getting back to that center because it means something to you. The absence, like Corona pulled you away from it just long enough so you could tell that you loved it, so that you can tell that you love it. And coronavirus sat me down long enough to be like, do you really want to get on here? Like, do you really want to get on here? Like, I took effort. Shout out to everybody who's creating right now, and also shout out to everyone who's laying their ass down on the bed.
I really want to feel and vibe off of what you're saying about the whole thank you part. So like, it's really like embracing the ugly, like we said earlier, like hugging you. So you know what? I don't want coronavirus. The coronavirus is not my desire.
No,
I don't want to have a date with coronavirus. However, coronavirus is here. There's that radical acceptance and say, okay, what are we going to do about it? Like, am I going to want to crawl into a ball? Am I going to be into denial and say it's not there, or look at the bigger picture? And I feel like for me, something I had to do a year or two ago when I got hit by a car and I had broken my shoulder.
I'm so sorry.
And I had to be in the house. I couldn't do my job, and I love my job as well. I teach personal safety and self-defense, so it's like I love getting up and going to work and to like making a difference in people's lives. And I couldn't do that. I had to sit at home and be still. And so it was like stressing me out. I'm like, God, what do you mean I have to sit at home and be still? And so this is like the argument like a lot of people are having with like themselves or the inner selves or with the higher power. What does it mean? Why do I have to sit down and be still? Right. And like the whole what came out of it for me is just like really like I have to like really dive more into myself, learn some things. Like there were some like lessons that had to be learned, not in a classroom, not where there's a lot of people, but like self lessons. Like you have to learn
in the stillness,
and like honor that in that space, and feed your spiritual part of you, because I probably wouldn't have got through it without that. I remember this is supposed to be at least a point of the show. Remember you asked me yesterday, what is the practices of my ancestors? And I remember like when I was injured, one of the things I was dealing with how I was dealing with pain. I was in deep physical pain, and I remember just like it was just like coming out of me. I don't know why I did this or where it came from, but I started to just remember singing old like Baptist Christian songs that my grandmother used to sing in church.
Which one was coming up for you? Which one?
There was one that was Jesus Keep Me Near the Cross.
Yes.
There's the Precious Fountain.
Yes.
That one, right? There was that one, and then I remember being in church and there were like songs that were like just had two words in it, and the whole song was "Remember Me."
Yeah.
We just sang "Remember Me" over and over again, and I'm like, so remember like ancestors like that, my grandmother, and remembering the things that she used to do, and that kind of aspect got me through that moment. And so here we are again. Then you have to keep still or be in quarantine or whatever, and it's like, okay, go back and touch those things that were left for you that were gems.
Remember me.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that the remembrance of the gifts of your ancestors, even the ones not so far away, the ones closer to you, remembering their strength, remembering their faith, remembering their courage helps us call that into our present moment experience. Yeah.
Absolutely, I share. Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I just want to, I want to give thanks right now. I feel led to give thanks to the ancestors for the gifts that they have given.
Right, because a lot of times we want to argue and say, "Oh, my ancestors didn't leave me anything. Oh, I had a bad life or whatever. The only thing my ancestors left me was, whatever, negativity."
Right, the negativity.
But like, we serve a God of balance, and God doesn't give you anything negative without giving you something that's positive.
Yes, I share.
So like, there was some great things that were in your past as well, and you need to go back and get them. And I'm like, yes, my grandmother was amazing. Like, she definitely left me some great things before she left. Yeah.
I mean, even if the only gift they left was the resilience alone, you know what I mean? Even if the only gift the ancestors gave us was resilience, just the capacity of surviving torture of body, mind, spirit.
Right.
The degradation and brokenness of body, mind, and spirit. And yet they still continued on to allow you and I to have this conversation on an open internet. Something that they didn't even know was a possibility. And yet they got up and washed the clothes and tended to bodies and prayed prayers and
cleaned houses.
Cleaned houses, cleaned toilets, pumped water. Something that people don't know about me is that both of my parents came from rural parts of what we call the country in the South, in Virginia. In the South, in the country. And my parents, for the earlier years of their lives, did not have running water in the house. They had to go out back. My parents, not my parents' parents, not someone up the line, not my great-great-great-grandma Sally, who was a slave. My parents went out to an outhouse to do number two and all of their business. My parents did that. And so to have the strength of walking out of that and improving upon their lives and creating opportunities for their children, and now for their children's children. Ain't my babies, but my brother's babies. Wow. Wow. Because let me say something. Ain't nothing coming out of this uterus. Let me tell you that much. I can tell you that shit right now. So for those children, thank you to the ancestors for paying the price, and thank you to the ancestors for reminding me right now that we are going to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Daniel,
I remember. I'll leave this one thing. I don't know if many people have this experience. So you may have this experience because you said you have some down south experience.
Yes.
Remember as a child when like a really serious storm would come through the wherever you would live at in the south.
Yes.
So I remember like a storm would come and my grandmother would have us stop doing whatever we were doing.
Turn off all the lights. Turn off all
the lights. The lights didn't even have to go out. The light, they may have eventually went out, but she turned them up before. Turn off all the lights.
All the lights.
All the TV, all the unplugged shit, all the appliances, everything.
Everything off.
And sit your behind down and be still. I'm like, why? God is talking to us. And I'm like, what you mean?
Child.
Listen to the storm, listen to the rain, listen to the thunder. That's God talking to us. And when God is talking to us, we have to sit down and be still and listen. And I was like, what is this? And I remember like we would sit at the window, and we would listen and we would watch the storm. And then sometimes I remember there was like one gadget we like didn't need like a whole bunch of like electrical hooking up, and we would listen to Mahalia Jackson sing gospel music. And I was just like, what is this? And I swear to God, I remember that, and I'm like,
Daniel, you just took
you
me
know
back
what?
because we would have to sit our black asses down and not move either because God was talking. And you know what? We've been watching Netflix through our storms. We have been Huluing through our storms. We've been going to parties in storms. We've been getting on trains in storms. I know a couple thunderstorms. I know that there were a couple thunderstorms where I told my best friend Kim, I said, Kim, I said, I don't have to turn off shit no more because I'm grown. I'm gonna just watch this because I want to watch it. We've actually laughed and joked about the fact that we don't observe that anymore. And guess what Mother Nature then did again? She then sat all of us down in the house.
Right.
And then what's the message she's saying?
Be still and listen because God is talking. And it's up to the individual to interpret what she, they, or he is saying.
Yeah, whatever the presence, because God's not to me, God's not a big white man in the sky. God is all around us right now, even in this call. God is here. Love is here. And if God is weird for you, love is here. And it's saturating and permeating everything. It's getting on everything. It just wants us to be still enough to recognize it and then to give it out. Just recognize, be still. Love is talking. Be still. Love is talking. And then the more love we have to give, it seems like the more it just wants to overflow the cup and just run over into everything around us. You won't have to worry about a dry up of happiness. You won't have to worry about a dry up of joy. You won't have to worry about hitting your last piece of kindness, because your love will just flow over and over. I'm not saying this from a place of complete knowing myself. I bob and weave in and out of being a petty bitch and a loving soul. I mean, it's really a challenge.
I think the part of being still or dealing with the storm is like allowing God to pour into us via the funnel. Because when you're pouring, you can't be having a shaky hand or you can't be on a bottle that's moving back and forth. You have to the bottle has to keep still, and the funnel has to be there, and you have to pour into it. God can't pour into us if we're moving around too much.
Yeah. And so that's the gift for me. That's the gift of the situation. It's not my preference. It's not what I'd rather be doing. But if this has come to pour into me and to give me the slowdown I need to pour into myself, then thank you.
Right, and the pourer needs a receptive vessel. So you have to be sitting still or dealing with situations like this allows us to be open.
Right,
to,
which is why I told you earlier about radical acceptance. We have to say yes to this.
Yes.
We don't want to be ill. None of us here want to be ill, but we have to say yes to this. We have to just say, we have to surrender. I surrender all. I will sit at the house. I will eat these beans and rice. And I will limit my exposure to other people, and it will be okay. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. And you can even hear in my voice that sometimes that feels right and sometimes it doesn't. But that's all I have, and so it would serve me. What's serving you now?
Right, exactly.
It would serve me to just be still. Shh. The Spirit of God is talking. Wow.
Right.
Wow. Is that the good word you want to leave people with, or you want to leave them with one more before you go, brother?
Yes, I know there were a few.
No. I'm open to it. I wanted to give you the final word and the final blessing to the people.
Oh, you are not going to give me the benediction.
Wait, because are we gonna be here for another 3 hours? No.
Now it wasn't him who was able to keep us from falling, right?
Okay.
No,
And
no, no, no.
present us
I'm kidding. I'm
faultless.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just grateful for this space. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for um, just us meeting so many years ago. I oftentimes in my head think about that time we met. I'm like, wow, I remember him at that restaurant in his waiter gear.
Yes.
You were a waiter, and I was like, wow, he's happy.
Yes.
He's
Was that in Soho?
I forgot we were at some restaurant, and then you were there,
Yeah.
and we connected, we vibed.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
social butterfly,
Slinging
and
drinks and food.
right. And then I realized you know some people that I know as well, so
Yes.
that's totally dope. So I appreciate connections like those, and I want to be able to like invite people to like in this time be open to reconnecting with those people who you connected with in the past, and it didn't grow anywhere, but this may be time to water it and let it grow now.
Yes. Let it water it and let it grow now. I love you, brother. It's so great to talk to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you for being here with us. Remember, everybody, our yes, we can grow. Our card of the day was change. Pain is often a sign that something has to change. Brother Daniel just encouraged us to water some of those relationships that we've always wanted to grow. Now is the time. And you all have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.